First question. Why do atheists try to convert those who believe? First of all, no atheist tries to convert anybody. That makes no sense.
Exactly. If you convert, that means you accept a set of beliefs. Atheism isn't even one belief, let alone a set. Atheism is the absence of a belief. You can't convert to a belief that isn't there any more than you can swim on dry land. However, some may see this as splitting hairs.
I see people trying to convince the religious to use logic, to ask questions, to seek answers, to think rationally and think for yourself. That's not converting anything.
Again, exactly true. However, it might be a little dishonest of us to try to say that we don't have a purpose in doing this. We are, of course, trying to help people to stop accepting beliefs that they currently do accept. That is to say, no one's trying to convert anyone to anything, but some of us try to help to deconvert people away from things. Now, since there are no rules to being an atheist besides not believing in God, there is no one set reason why an atheist might choose to do this. However, I think the most common reason is simply the idea that it is good to believe things that are true and real and make sense, and it's bad to believe things that are not true, not real, and don't make sense.
Question number 2. How do atheists deal with the possibility that religious belief may be beneficial for people? Well, I don't think there's anything beneficial about religious belief.
My answer is Northern Europe. Some of the most atheistic countries in the world, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, are also the happiest, and some of the lowest rates in the world of things like poverty and murder. Google it. On pretty much any demographic social indicator you care to name, the atheistic democracies of Northern Europe are far, far better places to live than the United States. So if a Christian wants to claim that religion conveys benefits to society, well, the evidence is there to show that they're just plain wrong.
Question number 3. Can you believe in ghosts and the spiritual paranormal and still be an atheist? No. If I reject any and all supernatural events, ghosts, people rising from the dead, people walking on water, talking snakes, heaven and hell, Jesus and Satan, then I reject it for this reason and this reason alone. Lack of evidence.
Misfit, while I admire your passion for rationality and evidence, I'm afraid I do have to correct you on one little thing. There are no rules in atheism about why you're an atheist. You can be atheist for any crazy-ass reason you like, and you're still an atheist, as long as you don't believe in God. So, technically, you can believe in ghosts and still be an atheist. It's not against the rules.
Number 4. Do you ever feel shunned as an atheist? Yeah, I do, but usually not by people that really matter to me.
Now, while Australia is only about 30% atheist, we are a very secular country. That is, we keep religion out of everything else. So in Australia, it's considered a huge faux pas, or at least incredibly bad manners, to bring up religion anywhere, like schools or politics or in the workplace. So, yeah, it's the people going around saying, "I'll pray for you," and "God bless." They're the ones who get treated like freaks. Maybe that's why we're called the lucky country.
Question number 5. What do you think of Christians? What do I think of Christians? I pity them. I'm angry at the leaders and the brainwashers, but I pity them. I pity the followers, the believers. I pity the abused, because they are abused.
As for speaking of Christians in general, I could not have put it better myself. You hit the nail right on the head. Just from my own observation That is exactly how I perceive Christians as a segment of society. On the other hand, and I think this kind of ties back into the earlier benefits question, I have met some individual Christians who were some of the nicest people I've ever encountered. Joyous, kind, generous people. People with a strong enough moral character that they can have the courage of their own convictions to follow the Bible's good teachings and ignore its evil ones. So they are exceptionally good people, both because of and in spite of their Christianity. Of course, this is just the odd rare one. There are also plenty of just plain normal people, and quite a few arseholes. But all of them, without exception, are, to some degree, brainwashed. They've been given these beliefs, and they've been given social and emotional reasons to accept them, and they've accepted them. They haven't been given any evidence, and they haven't examined the beliefs, compared them, put them together, put them face to face with reality and with each other, and worked out for themselves that they just don't really make sense.
Question number 6. If God existed, what would you ask him? What the fuck is your problem?
Yeah. It's questions like this that make it so blindingly obvious that there is no God, because you or I or any sane, reasonably moral human being could do a better job than the one that is supposedly being done by Yahweh. My question would be, all that power, why? Why the fuck weren't you putting it to good use? All that suffering you could have prevented. All that disease you could have cured. All that ignorance you could have been teaching. All that folly you could have brought wisdom. You're the boss of everything. The rules are yours to make up. You created us and you love us. But the first one of us did something you didn't like, and for that we all get thrown into hell forever? How is it you can have infinite wisdom but display the emotional maturity of a 12-year-old crack addict? You want us to be with you forever, but you can't stand our sinfulness. You have infinite power. You can do anything. You could just snap your fingers and wash away the sins. So why the fuck did you come up with this completely ridiculous, stupid-ass system where you've chosen a primitive, obscure moment to come to Earth, to have yourself murdered as a sacrifice to yourself, leaving behind no evidence that this ever really happened? Just a few garbled stories that any rational person who really thinks them through is going to find impossible to believe, and yet believing it is what we have to do, because that's the only way to be cleansed of our sins. If you wanted us to believe it, why didn't you make it believable? If you are God, God is insane.
Number 7. Why do Americans take you to be the most untrusted minority?
Christian propaganda. Plain and simple.
How much give a shit do you see in the eye?